that.
Okay. Right behind us. No, I was just taking pictures. You go ahead.
You ready, Carrie?
Nope.
All right, welcome back to Tribal Council, Nada. Let's start with Jess. Jess, last time y'all were here, the vote was not unanimous, 5-4, as a matter of fact. So what was that like, leaving the Tribal Council and having to hash that out as a tribe?
It was, asking forgiveness and not permission beforehand. But I think we had some good conversations and people seemed to understand why it went down the way it went down.
Colby, when you have a vote like that, where not everybody is on the same page, what impact does that have on the unity of the tribe?
It definitely like makes you think about where you could stand on the tribe when you just see like a vote distribution like that. But like she said, like we all have conversations, we all hear the rationale behind everything, and if you let that be your mindset, if you go, oh, like since I was left out of this, like I'm not gonna strategize with any of those 5 players in this tribe of 8. I'm not gonna work with any of them. It's not gonna work well for you. You kind of have to be adaptable and move forward and just try to keep that unity. Because if your tribe doesn't have unity, you're more likely to come right back here.
One, Colby's talking about how you can't just focus on things like that. You have to move forward as a tribe in order to benefit everybody. But this is a game where people are leaving people out of votes, not always telling the truth. How hard is it to not take things personal when those kind of things happen?
I mean, I guess it depends on the person and the situation. I guess sometimes things don't go as you plan, but it goes in someone else's favor. Everyone can't get what they want, and it's just how you process that and how you have those conversations to be like, am I really upset at this, or am I just upset because I didn't vote that way? So it's just a matter of how you process it independently and how you portray that to everybody else.
Deborah, although you were safe along with everyone else here, you did walk away with a vote. So or a couple of votes actually. So what was it like going back into a camp, knowing that a couple of these people did write your name down? Was it awkward, or how did you handle that?
It was fine. I know that they were left out of what was happening, and so they thought they were doing what their grouping had decided to do. And let's just let it go. It's a game.
Chad, talked a little bit now about just how that was a division in terms of the vote last time. So how much is that going to have a factor on this vote, do you think, or is it a whole new game?
I mean, I think it's having an impact on this vote. It's, when people are left out of a vote, that is going to have consequences in terms of, untrustworthiness and such. And so, like, there were conversations last night about looping more people in because it wasn't a vote to try to divide the tribe or establish sides. It was a vote to get out somebody who was going to be a very strong player that the majority of the tribe didn't trust. And but now, myself included, and I think there's others who look back and think maybe we should have looped more people in.
Eliana, Chad's briefly mentioned there, perhaps another decision could have been made. Perhaps, that was a mistake in some regards. Do you echo that sentiment, or do you still feel like this tribe made the right decision?
I think as far as the vote goes, the decision was correct. But as far as the communication went, it probably could have been handled a good bit better. Because it is a small group of people, and there's really no point of leaving anybody out, because all it's going to do is make it contentious down the road.
Andrew, what can happen to bring a tribe back together and improve this communication like y'all are talking about? What has to happen for y'all to get to that place?
Yeah, there needs to be some trust building. And I think definitely voting and being on the same page with everything, not just in tribal, but our communication and challenges as well. I think we do that really well, strategizing and getting a game plan on challenges. I think if we can continue to do that, it's going to strengthen our bond with everybody involved here.
Fire.
Oh, fire.
Hurry, that's mine.
Recording.
Allison, been a lot of talk about how the last vote could have an impact. We want to rebuild communication in the tribe. So do you think this vote is going to be more about forming the unity back in the tribe, or do you think it's gonna be another one of there's a huge threat in the game and we might need to take them out?
I think that we do have unity in the tribe, and this strategy time was full of open communication, which was surprising to feel that it was across the board, very open.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have. I'm very interested to see where this will go, but as always, I would like to give each of you the chance. If there's anything else you want to say, now would be the time to do so.
Well, I do. It's looking like I'm going to be the vote tonight. We've been very, like she said, communicative, and I understand to a point why me. But I also want to re-point out to the group, I was not the weakest link in any challenge. I was not the weakest link. And if you're voting strength, you're voting the wrong person. Please don't vote with your heart, vote with your mind. And I think that's it.
And you say that you believe you're getting the votes.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it. Yeah.
Oh, you were told that.
Well, we talked about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And is that frustrating for you as you're saying you feel like you're not the weakest link in challenges?
Yeah.
How frustrating is that?
It's very frustrating when they say they're voting strength. I look at my challenge. I think back over my challenge record and how I didn't drop the balls, how I didn't knock beanbags off, how I landed my beanbags. And even with the mayonnaise challenge, when I was sick and weak, I was never really far behind. I fought and kept up. So I think they're making a mistake, but I understand it.
Colby, you guys are a part of a tribe at the end of the day. You've spent a lot of time together, got to know each other. There has to be some empathy for a tribe mate who's frustrated about their position and they just don't agree with what's happening.
What's the question?
The rest,
You're correct.
yeah, okay.
There is empathy.
You have empathy for that? Okay.
There's a lot of empathy that comes with it, and even if someone were to agree with her that she wasn't the weakest in any challenge, there's a very short amount of time to talk and only so much that can be done. And sometimes it's just the numbers thing. You don't want to be on the outs of something.
All right. We said a little bit more just now, so again, I'll reopen it. Anything else anyone would like to say?
I'm coming back.
Well, let's see where the tribe decides to go ultimately. We're now going to get to the vote. The talking time is done. I'm going to let them get ready in the booth first. We're going to start with Andrew, go to Juan, Eliana, and with Allison. Andrew. Chad. Juan. Eliana. Jess. Allison.
Tally the vote. All right. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted out would be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. Now, if anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you'd like to play it, now would be the time to do so.
No, they're just dandelions.
All right. I'll read the votes. First vote. Deb. Jessica. One vote Jessica, one vote Deb. Deb. It's 2 votes Deb. One vote Jessica. Deb. 3 votes Deb, 1 vote Jessica. Deborah. 4 votes Deb. Next person voted out of surviving real quick. Deborah.
Got it. Can we do hugs?
Go for it.
Think of a better person to come for me.
I'm coming for you guys.
You're coming back.
I'm coming back. I'm coming for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Save us some ice.
Spicy rice.
Yeah.
Flour
Bold,
rice with
spicy,
a bold
and
spicy
tangy.
and tangy.
Don't have my glasses on.
Deborah. The tribe has spoken. But you will have a chance to get back in this game and head off that way.
Y'all ready yet? Love y'all.
Okay.
Hey y'all, I thought this was going to happen. And what was sad was, as I told you in a different confessional, I was not the weakest link. That's what was so sad. I was not the weakest link by far. And it was, they voted with their hearts because they had had an alliance a little bit longer, but they told everybody they were voting for challenges. And that's not what they did. I never failed a challenge. I worked hard and gave it all I had. I was definitely the stronger of the two of us. And that's okay though, because I am coming back. And they better look out, because I'm not going to play sitting down.
So you say that you're not the weakest. Who would you say?
Jessica. By leaps and bounds, honestly. Let's see. On the first challenge, I ate 3/4 of a quart of mayonnaise. And I know we've all heard this enough, but he asked, so I have to tell you. I ate 3/4 of a jar of mayonnaise and drank a ton of water, threw up, and I was never behind Jessica the whole way. We were right there together, and she's no faster than I am, and that's with a belly full of mayonnaise and water. And then I can't remember all the challenges, but I know one was we had a paddle with a ball on top, and she dropped it probably a dozen times and let the other team totally catch up with us. When she finally got it to me, I walked mine straight across and handed it off without missing a beat, period. Okay, so you look at that. You look at the mayonnaise. She's not better than me. She's not stronger than me. And then, what was the other challenge? The one we just did, the beanbag challenge. Let me tell you, every time I got up there, I hit one, landed perfect every single time. I never had to do my throws and then get off. And she threw and knocked. We were ahead 5-3, or I don't know if we were ahead, but anyway, we had 4 or 5, and she knocked 3 of them off, and wouldn't step down. She just kept throwing and knocking them off. So yeah, I do believe I'm better at challenges. I do.
Do you have any hard feelings to anyone in particular?
No, I love this game and I love these people. We had the best tribe. I do believe they've made a huge mistake. I told them they were making a mistake. I said, I cannot believe y'all are choosing to get rid of someone who is a strong competitor and keep someone because you have an alliance when you say that you're wanting to compete. I knew they couldn't get rid of the guys. I wouldn't have voted to get rid of the guys. That was just stupid. We need them. But then to just, I don't know. Yeah, no hard feelings. I'm coming back for them though. After I make it back in the game, they're my targets, and there'll be no doubt about that.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, is there anyone from your tribe who you hope does well?
Oh yeah, Juan. Juan's my man. He was too scared to go against the majority. He wouldn't make a stand. And Colby came around. He tried to talk the others into voting with me against Jessica, and they just wouldn't do it. They're too scared of the alliance. So that's the way it goes.
Any final thoughts?
I'll be back.
Thank you.